What's up, guys and girls? My name's Joy, and today I'm going to be doing a Breath of the Wild review. Excuse me, I haven't been feeling well, so if my voice and coughing occurs or anything like that, I have been sick, so I'm just going to throw that out there now. But I did want to put this review out and get it out there because I played Breath of the Wild. I played it on the Switch, and here are my thoughts. Now, I don't like everything in the game. There are things I like and things I don't like. So I'm going to list the negatives first, just to get them out of the way. There's not very many, so it's not that bad. There's a lot more positives with this game. I was really actually surprised by this game. So number one is the shrines. I hate the Ubisoft shrine crap in this game. So if you're picking up Breath of the Wild, in order to get more hearts or stamina in the game, you have to do these shrines. There's 120 of these shrines in the base game. I'm sure there's more I think there's more in DLC. But this just killed the fucking game. They already had the Ubisoft Towers, like, reveal the map shit, which was, that I'm okay with, kind of. However, I did not like the shrines. They were too short, there was too many of them, they were littered all over the place. There's 120 of them, like I said, in the base game, not including DLC, and they just pissed me off. Yes, at first, they're kind of cool, because you have to figure out these puzzles, but eventually, once you get into the late game, you realize that you're so good at the game that these things are redundant, boring pieces of shit and they should not exist. Yes, you get some good loot from them time to time depending on the shrine you go to, obviously, but because all your gear breaks, which is another con, kind of, I'm going to get into that one, it doesn't really matter, right? If your gear breaks, going to a shrine to get gear when I could just kill a mob in the world is pointless. So number two, this is a pro and a con, but I'm just gonna list it as a con first. So I guess it'd be like backwards of that. It'd be a con and then a pro. Is the weapon system. On one hand, I love it, and on the other hand, I hate it. It's like a bitchy ex-girlfriend. You love it, and then you hate it. It makes the game challenging, but it also makes the game uneventful or unrewarding. What do I mean by that? That means, like, if you get a badass weapon, you have to worry about using it. If you use it too much, it might break. And so, until you get the Master Sword in the game, everything else is what I call throwaway items, or throwaway gear or weapons. However, this makes the game challenging, because if you don't have, you need to upgrade your inventory space, you need to get more shields, you need to get more bows, you need to get more weapons. And so this makes the game have some sort of replayability, kind of like Diablo or Warframe or something like that, where you're grinding for another sword that you just used prior that broke to get, if you want to go get that sword again that was really good, you need to go get that. And so I really like that system on one hand, and on the other hand, I hate it because long term, if I want to fight a really hard enemy, I have to worry about my ship breaking every 5 seconds. And that can get tiring and annoying in itself as well. So it makes the game a challenge, but it also makes the game unfun and annoying in its own way. So shrines and weapon systems so far out of the way. Where's another annoyance that I don't like? That's, I think, really it. The Ubisoft towers weren't that bad. The shrines not really being big ass dungeons like you expect in Zelda. I think that's really it. The horse controls, I guess, would be another one that I'm not really fond of. They handle like shit on the Switch, but they're manageable once you get the hang of it. I think they're not perfect, but they're not the best. Well, no, sorry. Let's rephrase that. They're not perfect, but they're not the worst I've seen. Okay, they're okay. I'll put them as okay. Everything else though is a pro. I like the cooking to make your potions, and like each time you cook something, you might get a different result. I think that's great. The open world system's great. The cutting down trees is great. I like how you can use like trees as like logs to traverse a canyon or something. Taming the horses is cool. You can't do that in Witcher, by the way, because you only get Roach. So you can actually tame a horse in Zelda of your choosing, multiple if you want. Pay a fee, and then they get stored, and you can get like armor for them and whatnot, which I think is cool. The story, some people didn't like the story, but because I've only played the black and white Game Boy Zelda game, I thought the story was okay. It wasn't very long, like you think it is, but it's really not very long. It can be easily cheesed if you do the Divine Beast relatively quickly. It can be a very short story slash campaign. I wasn't a fan of that. Because I thought, like, after the Divine Beast, I would lead up to this epic build up into the Gammon fight, which is like the Bowser Castle or something, and then I'd have to go through all these stages. That's not it at all. The castle is completely open. You can go there right away. You can enter the castle as long as you can survive, and there's no, like, booby traps, dungeons, things you expect in, like, a Nintendo franchise. It's just kind of open, which, okay, not too bad, but it was disappointing in a way. What else is there? Uh, that's really it. I mean, there's a lot of towns in the base game. I like the fact that the glider makes open world aspect enjoyable. I wish other open worlds had more freedom with, like, the glider and the combat system, and you do get abilities and spells after you defeat the Divine Beast, which I think is fucking sick. I don't know about other open world games, but I really wish they would take something like that to make it interesting and fun. Because, like, Horizon Zero Dawn, you just get the bow. Assassin's Creed Origins, you just get, your sword and your shield because it's ancient times, which fits, obviously the timeline. But in Zelda, you get, like, these badass abilities, like, so that I can, like, jump higher and like, I can basically have, like, a hurricane spawn under me, so I can fly up and go at higher distances to reach a higher area that I can't normally get to, jumping off a mountain or something. Um, you get, like, this shield ability that will basically act like your shield, but it's an ability, so you don't have to break your shield in the process. You get an ability to use lightning, like AoE lightning, which I thought was cool. And then you get another ability, which is like an instant revive at max hearts. You only get one of those, but it's still pretty, they're useful abilities and they come in handy in different situations. So I thought those were cool. And you get those for defeating the Divine Beast. But yeah, that's kind of my review. So what do I rate Breath of the Wild after beating the game? And I'm gonna be picking up the DLC. Don't worry, the season pass actually surprisingly isn't as much as like a season pass on PS4, which is really nice. It's like $20. What a steal! Um, so I'll pick up the DLC. I'll play through that. I've heard some good and bad about the DLCs. But $20 to me is not that bad for the season pass compared to what I pay for PS4 games, guys. That's not bad at all. It's actually, like I said, a steal. The main game, I'm gonna have to give it. I want to say of everything I've listed. Now I know it's been kind of a quick review, but I did enjoy the game, and I'm just gonna throw that out there. I did enjoy the game. It's got like a Dark Soul-esque combat system. Some of the enemies can be very hard early on if you take them on, and they can one-shot you. So I really enjoyed that. And it was a slog to get through that, and it was an enjoyable slog. Like, every time I defeated a hard enemy that was kicking my ass, I was like, "Fuck you, bitch! Give me your loot." Like, it was fucking awesome. So Breath of the Wild to me is going to be an 8.5 out of 10. I know that's a bit low, but again, the major drawbacks, obviously, there are some annoyances to the game, like every open world, and that's the repetitive shrines with no, like, reason to do them other than to get the heart and the stamina hearts or whatever. There's no reason other than to get, HP upgrades or stamina upgrades from the shrines. Like, gear's irrelevant because it breaks. Um, and then you can get, like, the Master Sword and then the best shield in the game at the castle, so there's really no point to go there for gear. Unless you need, like a pick-me-up or something, I guess. But the shrines and the fucking weapon system itself is kind of a con and a pro, or a pro and a con. I like it and I hate it, but mainly the shrines are my biggest one. And the fact that it seems like they're there just to give off the game's repetitive nature. They're not there to really, like I said, do anything else other than to say, like, oh, here's another shrine, go in and investigate to get a health thing. And you need like 4 shrines. You need to do 4 shrines to get an upgrade to your health or to your stamina. And that, to me, is just there to be repetitive. It's not there to really benefit the game at all. And I don't know why it was in there to begin with, and I'm not a fan of it. As for the breakable weapons, the fact that I like it and hate it, again, there's no weapon in the game other than the Master Sword right now that stands out upon the rest. Because the Master Sword, when it breaks, it recharges. Whereas everything else, when it breaks, you have to go back to the location you found it and grab it. And that, to me, annoys me to fucking fuck all. It just pisses me off. But at the same time, it makes it challenging because you don't want to carry around shady weapons. You want to have multiples of a good item to really make use of it and whatever. So, there's that. Overall, though, Breath of the Wild, 8.5 out of 10. That's my rating. I enjoyed the game. I think if you can get a Switch and get the game, you'll enjoy it too. It is a hard game. It starts off hard, and eventually, as you get more better gear, like any other open world game, it becomes cheesy as fuck. But it's still pretty hard, even with the amount of hearts that I have. And, I can still get one-shotted almost by enemies sometimes over bullshit. So it's still pretty hard, and I like that. I like that element to the game, and I think that's what makes it fun. Is because when you overcome those challenges, it's fun. It's really rewarding. So 8.5 out of 10 for me. I know it's a late review. I didn't get the Switch until recently, but I had to play Zelda. My buddy recommended it, so I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. So I tried it. I like it. I want to buy the DLC for it. With that said, guys, my name's been Joy. Assassin's Creed DLC. We're gonna go into away from the review real quick. I want to talk about some stuff. So it only makes sense that the Assassin's Creed DLC Hidden Ones comes out at the end of the month because of Monster Hunter World. That game comes out in like 10 days, guys. I'm excited. I can't wait to stream that. I do want to stream Breath of the Wild, but that'll be down the road. I got to get a capture card and stuff, so I'll do that as well. And then what else is there? Yeah, just Monster Hunter World right now. Just playing Warframe until Monster Hunter World comes out, and that's really it. But that's my review for Breath of the Wild. I'm still going to get the Assassin's Creed DLC, maybe. I really don't know. I'm on the fence with that one, because when Monster Hunter World comes out, if the Hidden Ones isn't out before then, I'm just not going to give a shit. I'm sorry. Like, I like Assassin's Creed, I like Ancient Egypt, but there's no staying power. I mean, let me mention something else real quick for Zelda before I forget. In the DLC, yes, you have to pay for this in the Zelda DLC, but at least it's there. AC Origins it has difficulty settings, sure, but there's no reward for completing the game on a hard difficulty or something. There's no New Game Plus like Witcher 3. Zelda has challenge modes. The base game's already a challenge without the challenge modes, but the DLC has like hard mode, challenge modes, master mode, and all. Has all these difficulties inside the DLC. And even though the base game doesn't have those, it was still pretty hard. Let me put it this way: Breath of the Wild was a Nintendo game. Was more hard at some points than all of AC Origins. Let that sink in for a second, because that's pathetic. I'm not saying I don't like easy games, because, casual gamers, I guess, like that. I'm not a casual gamer, though. I'm a hardcore gamer. And a lot of the games I've been playing lately have been so fucking mind-numbingly easy that I just can't help but enjoy a hard game. And Breath of the Wild is a hard game at times. And that's good. I like that. So, if Nintendo's watching this video, thank you for making a hard game. Not something that can be easily cheesed or cakewalked by everyone and their mom. Now, obviously, if you beat the game, you've done one playthrough, and then you go back and play it again, you know where everything's at and all that, but the first playthrough will challenge you in Breath of the Wild, whereas in AC Origins, I didn't once feel challenged at all. Even on Nightmare, I have a Nightmare playthrough I'm playing through right now, I think, on AC Origins. I'm already in Siwa, and I've got all my shit almost maxed out already. It's not hard to play. So, the only issue with AC Origins on the hard difficulty, the harder ones that are really the most challenging things in the game, are the elephants and maybe the Colosseum boss battles. And that's it. And that's because they're like Division bullet sponges. They're not hard, they're just bullet sponges, meaning when you attack them, you do fuck all for damage, even if you've got the best gear in the game. And they take less damage than they would on easy. That's all it is. It's a modifier. It's like a damage modifier within the game of AC Origins. They're not even hard. They're just, if you up the difficulty in Origins, your weapon goes from doing 3,000 damage on easy to like less than 200 or 600 or 400. That's the only difference. Once again, proving that Ubisoft has great ideas and just poor execution. But yet Nintendo can do it really well with a fucking Switch game. That's just, that blows my mind. Because, dear God, man. Anyways, if you guys want me to pick up Mario Rabbids or Super Mario Odyssey, let me know in the comments, and I will gladly play those games as well. And if I get a capture card, I can stream those games for you. So, but overall, really happy with the purchase of the Switch. I really find it, again, funny that there's games on there that are more of a challenge than there are on Xbox and PS4 right now. That's pathetic. Aside from like Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. But with that said, mine has been Joy. Let me know if you liked Breath of the Wild in this review, and if you want to see more Switch games in the future, and if you guys want me to stream them, I can. With that said, guys, mine has been Joy. Have a good one. Take care.